Hello everybody and welcome back once again to Let's Play Skyrim. So, as we left off last time, we returned from somewhere round about here, I think it was, Volskygge. There we go, Volskygge. Not a stone's throw away from Solitude, but not a million miles away either. And let me just say that Elwynn returned from his adventure into Volskygge, returned home and had a rather nice, relaxing, long sleep. It was a long adventure down there. And he had a vision that like a feeling you get when you leave your home to go on holiday. You always get that same feeling that you've just forgotten to do something. You've left the gas on, or you've left the window open, or you just get that feeling, or the feeling that you've left something behind. Have I got my passports? Have I got my tickets? Have I got my, you always get, well I do. No matter how many times I double check, triple check, there's always something I feel like I've forgotten to take with me on holiday. Sometimes it's true, most of the time it's not. But anyway, it's just human nature, I think. Anyway, Elwynn got that feeling, and it came to him in a vision in his dream that he forgot a chest here in Volskygge. So, first part of today's session is going to be backtracking all the way to Volskygge to see what was in that chest. I resisted the temptation to look online to see what was in the chest. It might actually have saved me a trip, but I'm going out that way anyway, because there are a few undiscovered locations that might take my fancy. And then again, it might not. But anyway, it is now 7 AM on the money, and we are ready to venture out once again. So, day 20-something of English sun. Yes, it's been another warm day today, about 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks of non-stop sun. It's too much. I'm not used to this heat. On holiday, yes, but not having to work in it and have to move. You know, can't lie in a deck chair all day sipping on bloody cocktails and eating ice cream like on holiday. You've got to actually work, and you've got to do your chores, and you've got to go out and about, and it's not nice. Not that I'm complaining. Anyway, yes, us English folk not used to this amount of sun in a short space of time. We're used to maybe 2 or 3 days. We know how to savour it. Anyway, enough about the weather, as I wipe my brow. I'm sure the weather here in Hold is a little bit chilly. So, as we venture forth towards our destination, which is Volskygge revisited, no, thank you. Remove the map marker and place the map marker here, and we shall once again listen to the exploits of that damnable wolf queen, Patema. So, yeah, next time you join me live, it will be at Volskygge, hopefully. That's if you don't get attacked by a dragon on the way.
The Wolf Queen, Book 5, by Wowgin Jarth. From the pen of Inzolicus, 2nd century sage and student of Montakai, the year 3rd era 119. For 21 years, the Emperor Antiochus Septim ruled Tamriel and proved to be an able leader despite his moral laxity. His greatest victory was in the War of the Isle in the year 3rd era 110, when the Imperial fleet and the royal navies of Somerset Isle, together with the magical powers of the Sigic Order, succeeded in destroying the pioneer invading Armada. His siblings, King Magnus of Lilmoth, King Sephirus of Ghilain, and Patema, the Wolf Queen of Solitude, ruled well, and relations between the Empire and the kingdoms of Tamriel were much improved. Still, centuries of neglect had not repaired all the scars that existed between the Empire and the kings of High Rock and Skyrim. During a rare visitation from his sister and nephew, Uriel, Antiochus, who had suffered from several illnesses over his reign, lapsed into a coma. For months he lingered in between life and death while the elder council prepared for the ascension of his 15-year-old daughter Kintyra to the throne. The Third Era 120. Mother, I can't marry Kintyra, said Uriel, more amused by the suggestion than offended. She's my first cousin. And besides, I believe she's engaged to one of the Lords of Council, Modellus. You're so squeamish. There's a time and a place for propriety, said Potema. But you're correct at any rate about Modellus, and we shouldn't offend the Elder Council at this critical juncture. How do you feel about Princess Ragma? You spent a good deal of time in her company in Farron. She's all right, said Uriel. Don't tell me you want to hear all the dirty details. Please, spare me your study of her anatomy, Potema grimaced. But would you marry her? I suppose so. Very good. I'll make the arrangements then. Potema made a note for herself before continuing. King Lorimo has been a difficult ally to keep, and a political marriage should keep Farron on our side, should we need them. When is the funeral? What funeral? Asked Uriel. You mean for Uncle Antiochus? Of course, sighed Potema. Anyone else of note die recently? There are a bunch of little red-guard children running through the hall, so I guess Sepphoris has arrived. Magnus arrived at court yesterday, so it ought to be any day now. It's time to address the council then, said Potema, smiling. She dressed in black, not her usual colourful ensembles. It was more important to look the part of the grieving sister. Regarding herself in the mirror, she felt that she looked of all of her 53 years. A shock of silver wound its way through her auburn hair. The long, cold, dry winters in northern Skyrim had created a map of wrinkles, thin as a spiderweb, all across her face. Still, she knew that when she smiled, she could win hearts, and when she frowned, she could inspire fear. It was enough for her purposes. Potema's speech to the Elder Council is perhaps helpful to students of public speaking. She began with flattery and self-abasement. My most august and wise friends, members of the Elder Council, I am but a provincial queen, and I can only assume to bring to issue what you yourselves must have already pondered. She continued on to praise the late emperor, who had been a popular ruler despite his flaws. He was a true septim, and a great warrior, destroying, with your counsel, the near-invincible armada of Pyandonia. But little time was wasted before she came to her point. The Empress Gisela, unfortunately, did nothing to temper my brother's lustful spirits. In point of fact, no whore in the slums of the city spread out on more beds than she. Had she attended to her duties in the imperial bedchamber more faithfully, we would have had a true heir to the empire, not the half-wit milksop bastards who call themselves the emperor's children. The girl called Kintyra is popularly believed to be the daughter of Gisela and the captain of the guard. It may be that she is the daughter of Gisela and the boy who cleans the cistern. We can never know for certain. Not as certainly as we know the lineage of my son Uriel, the eldest true son of the Septim dynasty. My lords, the princes of the empire will not stand for a bastard on the throne. That I can assure you. She ended mildly, but with a call to action. Posterity will judge you. You know what must be done. That evening, Potema entertained her brothers and their wives in the map room, her favourite of the imperial dining chambers. The walls were splashed with bright, if fading representations of the empire and all the known lands beyond. Atmora, Yakuda, Akavia, Pyandonia, Thras. Overhead, the great glass dome ceiling, wet with rain, displayed distorted images of the stars overhead. Lightning flashed every other minute, casting strange phantom shadows on the wall. When will you speak to the council? Asked Potema as dinner was served. I don't know if I will, said Magnus. I don't believe I have anything to say. I'll speak to them when they announce the coronation of Kintyra, said Sepphoris, merely as a formality to show my support and the support of Hammerfell. You can speak for all of Hammerfell? Asked Potema with a teasing smile. The Red Guards must love you very much. We have a unique relationship with the Empire in Hammerfell, said Sepphoris' wife Bianchi. Since the Treaty of Stros Mackay, it's been understood that we are part of the Empire, but not a subject. I I understand you've already spoken to the council, said Magnus's wife, Helena, pointedly. She was a diplomat by nature, but as the Cyrodiilic ruler of an Argonian kingdom, she knew how to recognise and confront adversity. Yes, I have, said Petema, pausing to savour a slice of braised jalf bird. I gave them a short speech about the coronation this afternoon. Our sister is an excellent public speaker, said Sepphoris. You're too kind, said Petema, laughing. I do many things better than speaking. Such as? Asked Bianchi, smiling. Might I ask what you said in your speech? Asked Magnus suspiciously. There was a knock on the door. The head steward whispered something to Petema, who smiled in response and rose to the table. I told the council that I would give my full support to the coronation, provided they proceed with wisdom. What could be sinister about that? Petema said, and took her glass of wine with her to the door. If you'll pardon me, my niece Kintyra wishes to have a word with me. Kintyra stood in the hall with the Imperial Guard. She was but a child, but on reflection, Petema realised that at her age she was already married 2 years to Mantiarco. There was a similarity, to be certain. Petema could see Kintyra as the young queen, with dark eyes and pallid skin, smooth and resolute like marble. Anger flashed momentarily in Kintyra's eyes on seeing her aunt, but emotion left her, replaced with calm imperial presence. Queen Petema, she said serenely, I have been informed that my coronation will take place in 2 days' time. Your presence at the ceremony will not be welcome. I have already given orders to your servants to have your belongings packed, and an escort will be accompanying you back to your kingdom tonight. That is all. Goodbye, aunt. Petema began to reply, but Kintyra and her guard turned and moved back down the corridor to the stateroom. The Wolf Queen watched them go, and then re-entered the map room. Sister-in-law, said Petema, addressing Bianchi with deep malevolence, you asked what I do better than speaking. The answer is war.
Righty-ho, so I have returned to Volskygge, picked up the items that were in the chest. Not earth-shatteringly groundbreaking by any stretch of the imagination, but 200 and odd gold pieces, an ebony warrant that will sell for about 400 and odd gold pieces, and a necklace that makes lockpicking 20% easier when it's one of Elwynn's pet hates. Not a bad little treasure trove, and well worth coming back for. Oh, it took us 8 minutes and a bit. So yes, here we are in this part of the world. Now, here is the plan for the remainder of the Hafengar hold, at least on this occasion, because I have no doubts we'll be back at some point in the future. Here we go. Widow's Watch Ruin and Fort Ragstad. Now, 2 places that I uncovered on the way back last time from Volskygge, definitely worth our attention. So that's going to be the focus of today's session, depending on how quick it happens. If we have time after we finish those 2, then we'll press on, because there is a little irksome cabin somewhere around about here. There's a cabin high up in the mountains that is really getting my goat. I want to find out where this cabin is. Every time I walk back to Solitude from this area, there is a cabin near the Statue of Meridia, high up on the mountain. It seems that it's just out of my reach every time I walk past it, so I'm going to have to go there as well. So these 2, the cabin, any other particular areas round the cabin, maybe, and then one final adventure down here somewhere, near Morthal, not too far from Fall Gunther. There's an area or a cave or a ruin that somebody suggested that might be worth my time and effort, so I will go down here to explore that. Once we've done that, which will take, I reckon, another 3 updates, after this one, we will then press on with the main quest. So these 2 forts and ruins, cabin and any surrounding areas. Down here for that watch or whatever the hell it was, that cave, that ruin that somebody suggested, and then main quest, and then Winterhold. Mainly because, even though I've sold as much as I could sell, and I've given Brelina quite a bit of my items, I'm still carrying 255 pounds of stuff, and that's just stuff that I need for myself, like ingredients and things like that. So I'm really running out of carry capacity, and could do with really offloading a whole heap of this stuff at Winterhold sooner rather than later. So I'm hoping that these areas that I explore are not going to be jam-packed to the rafters with goodies, because it might just mean that I have to leave a fair few of them behind, which is not really great. So let's get our little quest marker on, place it up here, and walk forth to a potential new destination. See what wonders await us in yonder fortification.